NXT Battleground is going to come to Lowell May 28th.
There's so much happening at this event. The ticket you have to get.
We've witnessed WWE history in this town before. From being first to crown the People's Champion, to being front and center to witness the emergence of a new attitude. This town has always embraced the new generation.
This is the local guy makes good story coming back home.
I had actually gone as a fan the last time we were in Lowell, so it's so cool to go now as the champ.
But history shows that walking into this town as NXT champion doesn't guarantee you'll walk out with the gold.
After Battleground, you're gonna realize that you're not him. You're nothing. Beating you is gonna help me create the dynasty that I'm about to build over your body.
With NXT back on the road, beneath the shadow of Beantown, we've arrived at the precipice of another NXT milestone.
Who will be the next to hold the prestigious Women's Championship?
Just who will be left standing in Lowell?
The Battleground is being prepped with possible champions taking claim to the gold.
And with these NXT superstars on their road to glory, Battleground is all about making some history of their own.
And now, WWE presents NXT Battleground.
Every battle begins with conflict. As the battle lines have been laid out tonight, we are live in the shadows of Boston, in Lowell, Massachusetts, where our superstars are prepared to fight. Welcome to NXT Battleground, and welcome in ringside. I'm Vic Joseph, alongside with the two-time WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. Booker. We felt nothing but excitement since we arrived.
Man, I had excitement last night. I must congratulate the Boston Celtics, man, that boy Jason Tatum. They did it, man. They quit going to Game 7. It's about to get on in here, man.
Well, let's get ready for the first championship match tonight here at Battleground.
The following triple threat match scheduled for one fall is for the NXT North American Championship. Introducing first, he is the NXT North American Champion, Wes Lee.
Our love for the NXT Universe, because with a victory tonight, Booker, Lee will have the most successful title defenses of the North American Championship. How can anyone question his greatness?
And again, I look at this kid, Wes Lee, and I say it all the time, he's a special talent. He's that kid, Vic. He's that rose that just grew right out of the concrete. He's a special individual tonight. He's got a chance to go out here and do something very special in the middle of this square circle. Oh my God, man.
Wes Lee is defending this, and of course the triple threat rules. There is no champion's advantage.
Introducing the challengers. First, Tyler Bates.
And the big strong boy, no stranger to wearing gold, one of the youngest champions ever in WWE history. And really, since his first championship reign as the United Kingdom champion, how has he matured in your Hall of Fame eyes?
He's matured. You know what? I must say this young man, Tyler Bate, he's smart because he climbed his way, he stole his way into this match. And the thing is, I'm not looking down on him for that, Vic. That's what this business is all about. You gotta watch your back all the time, man.
We'll talk about that a little bit more as this match continues, because Tyler Bate is very deserving of a North American Championship.
You know what? I'm not saying that he isn't, Vic. I'm not saying that.
You say if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
You know what? Like I said, did I say I was downing him for that? I just say, look, if I'm going to go into it, I'm going to tell a man exactly what I'm all about. This man, Tyler Bate, he's not like that.
Well, you can see Wes Lee won't even look Tyler Bate in the eyes, looking right past one of his two challengers.
Accompanied to the ring by Ava, representing Schism, Joe Gacy.
Booker, one thing we've always talked about is just how dangerous Joe Gacy is. And he doesn't want the North American Championship for its prestige. He wants it for the power. He wants it for the platform to continue to spread his message.
Joe Gacy, he's a manipulator, man. You look in his eyes, you can fall under that spell of Joe Gacy. And tonight, let me tell you something. He's a very, very accomplished individual in the middle of that square circle. Don't let the smooth taste fool you, man.
Gacy not coming alone. There, of course, is Ava. How will she play a factor in this triple threat matchup? Again, Wes Lee, the champion, does not need to be factored in the decision to lose his championship here tonight at NXT Battleground.
Said it there, big factor, the X Factor. That's what Ava is.
What a way to kick off Battleground here tonight. And I want to talk about Wes Lee again real quick up front here. For someone who has had doubters throughout his career, Booker, how has Lee proven himself to the naysayers? This is going to be quick. First cover of the matchup.
Here we go.
Bate trying to get Lee down, and here comes Gacy, crucifix pin. His shoulders are down. A referee doing a lot of work here up front.
Things fluid right here off the top. And I'm going to tell you, Wes Lee is that kid that has gone out there and proved his medal inside that square circle each and every night, competing against the best here in NXT and proving that he is that man, that guy.
Here's what you were talking about earlier, the friendship between Lee and Bate. And for a second, Lee goes charging and Bate took us. Well, look, Joe Gacy, has done a masterful job of driving a wedge between these two, that being Lee and Bate, but he just got tossed the outside.
All he had to do was quote the OJ.
Here we go.
All he had to do was quote the OJ. They're smiling in your face while all the time they stabbing you in your back. That's what this kid, Tyler Bate, has been doing.
Gacy, I think this plan's going to backfire because both Lee and Bate going to the outside. Again, there's no count-out, so no disqualification. You have to win pinfall submission inside the squared circle.
There be any friendships in here, Vic. Every man for himself right here, because it's about one thing. It's about that North American Championship. Oh, yes, heating up a little bit.
This is what you were talking about. There is no friendships. There's just three superstars with one piece of gold. And Gacy just wiped out the field, and now look, this is the danger of a triple threat match for Lee. Lee's taken down. Gacy pins Bate. Gacy wins the North American title.
Gacy's very calculating right there. He saw that window open, and he just slipped right inside. Almost put himself in a position to get a victory. Right now, that big, strong boy is... Whoa! Yes.
High impact, nasty landing. Gacy into the cover. And Wes Lee just breaking up the count.
The thing about Joe Gacy, he's crafty, man. He's a crafty individual. Check him out right here.
Just absolutely rolling to start this match from the back of the ring. Bam! Big high impact from Gacy, who is a half second away from becoming the North American champion. But you talk about Gacy, his best attribute in this match, really his mind manipulation. Able to drive that wedge between two former friends we've seen time and time again in his career as up and over. Oh yes! Suplex, with shoulders down and a near fall. Wes Lee.
This game is all about Vic trying to get into your opponent's head. But I'm gonna tell you one thing about this young man, Wes Lee. He has been major laser focused. Check him out.
Look at that, Wes Lee, a nice job too off the German presence of mind to secure the pin, and now Wes Lee the one who is in control. Double stomp right to the back.
Yes, Wes Lee, like I say, he's not a guy that's going to sit
watch
the action.
Shoulders down one more time, and another near fall.
Think about this kid. He wants to get right there in the middle of the action. And we know he'll throw caution to the wind, Vic.
Take a look
Check
at
it out.
Speed
Oh, yes.
side of Wesley, just able to kick out was Tyler Bate. You know, when it comes to Wesley, we asked him this Tuesday about the records, about the longest reigning North American champion. He said he's not focused on the numbers. He's focused on being the best.
No, that's what makes great champions. If you think about being the best in that locker room championship, just follow along, man. Trust me, I'm a living proof. 35, Vic.
We can add them all night, Book, but right now we're trying to add up yet another suplex
Oh,
from
yes.
Tyler Bate. And the big, strong boy now has turned the momentum around in this matchup.
With a little attitude there, with that little nip up.
We talk about Gacy's greatest attribute. It will be the strength of Tyler Bate here tonight.
Wow.
And Bate now standing shooting star. He's into the cover, into the counting. Oh, he saw Gacy coming. Presence of mind by Bate, and now Bate, try to hoist up Gacy. Easily the largest athlete in this matchup. A little bop and bang, but didn't happen. Oh, second time the charm.
Nice jab there by the The strength on this young man, Vic.
Round and round, a little spin. And Bate. No way.
No way. No way he's going to be able to do this. Hell no.
NXT Universe. In awe of the big, strong boy. Oh! Can you, an airplane spin and a swing? Bate doing it all, and a little boing right center of the ring as well. And Bate now leads down. Bate into the cover, and
I'll tell you something. One thing about that championship run is always, you know, when you hit the wall, and we've been wondering for a long time, when is this young man Wesley gonna hit that wall, Vic?
Well, look, I know you talked about Tyler Bate earlier. As you see the Tsongas Center here in the shadows of Boston, fired up for NXT Battleground, you can't blame Tyler Bate. He didn't do anything malicious. He said he was coming after the championship.
Come on, Vic. You know what? I don't mind you coming out for the championship, but don't try to be my friend, you know, along the way. I mean, because this is a man's game, Vic. It is about competition, and I don't mind that, but don't try to sneak your way in like this slime did right here, this Tyler Bate.
50-50 split here between Lee and Bate in the NXT Universe, but Lee, the one in control right now. Nice. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh! Gacy!
Right place at the right time, Vic.
Wow! One special.
Cover him.
Uh-oh.
Cover him.
Gacy looking to make Schism's roots stronger here tonight. Gacy gets caught by Bate. Bate with the knee lift, charges in, gets caught though by Gacy. And one more time, Gacy taking out the field.
Can you imagine, Vic? Can you imagine Joe Gacy becoming the North American champion? How strong would that make the Schism?
And Gacy looking for a submission.
Oh,
and Wesley
he's got it locked in.
has nowhere to go.
In the middle of the ring, Vic. He's stuck.
Here Gacy talking right into Lee's ear. Lee, the heart of a champion, but how much is left in Lee tonight?
The referee may have to have the wherewithal to understanding and know how to step in and do something. Oh, wow.
Well, Bate stepped in, tried to do something, but look at Gacy, look into the eyes of Bate. Now look in the eyes of Gacy.
Oh, sadistic man.
And while this is going on, is Lee going to tap? You see the arm high in the air. Bate trying to get right back in. And finally, Bate swinging away to break up and save this matchup as this triple threat match rolls on.
I was wondering for a second what's taking him so long. I mean, the title is on the line right there. I mean, Wesley could have tapped out. This thing could have been over, Vic.
Gacy coming in with that strategy. He was smart. I suppose he knew he needed to manipulate the friendship, that he didn't want to be at the 2-on-1 disadvantage. He was standing tall on Tuesday, but it's Bate standing tall for a moment, missed the shooting star, and right back in.
Oh, yeah, it's called divide and conquer, Vic.
Rings locked in on Bate. Is Bate now going to tap? And finally, Wesley having to break it up.
Wow. We just get started, Vic. And I'm sweating already, man.
This is the first match here at NXT Battleground, and what a matchup. NXT Universe showcasing their love for all three of these superstars, and what a big right from Lee. And at this point in the matchup, looks like we're just how we started, at a stalemate.
Wesley is a late game player. Seems like he gets stronger the longer the match goes. This match right here, he's got his hands full, Vic.
Well, the legs getting rocked, and wait a minute.
Whoa!
Finally, Bate and Gacy were working for a moment. And Wesley turning it right around.
You got to be kidding.
Double cardiac kick for the cardiac kick. James, holy.
Whoa!
Try again, another cover. And no! And I think Lee, Booker, if you take another look at that, Lee pulled so back on the leg in the pin, almost the momentum of Bate rolled his shoulder up. Take a look at this action. Same mindset. The challengers wiped each other out, and then Lee would take advantage with a double kick that connected.
Man, like a guillotine right there coming down. This kid Wesley, like I say, he's special, Vic. But I'm wondering, did that take a little bit more out of him
Look,
right
add
there?
it up. Wesley's put just about everybody he's faced away with that cardiac kick. Just shows you how much the North American Championship means to all three. As Wesley now, who has shown that he is willing to fight anyone, anywhere, at any time. Bate pulling right back. Nice sharp elbow this time from Lee. And Lee right now controlling the momentum of this matchup. And typically we see Lee use his speed to his advantage.
Right now, the kid, his cardio looks great, but right there, just out of place at the wrong time. And right there, Gacy just took advantage of it, Vic.
Gacy got caught. Oh, now a submission by Lee. And Lee trying to put Gacy to sleep. Trying to cinch this sleeper, and then look at Gacy's knees, Book. He's starting to fade. Gacy's starting to bend. Gacy's down to a knee.
Yeah, it's down to a knee, Vic, but I don't know about this strategy right here. I mean, this is just not the right. You want to get big shots. You want to hit big shots, stick and move.
Lee trying to cinch it, and Lee trying to squeeze, but Gacy, who can hear Ava on the outside.
Oh! That's the big shot I'm talking about. Cover him, that could be it.
Well, Gacy, presence of mind to listen to what you said. Into the cover. The Bate!
Wow!
Bate now. Can he hook in? Tyler Driver, 97.
Tyler Bate's about to demonstrate.
Got all of it, did Bate.
It's over.
Count.
It's all over.
Cover. And Gacy breaking it up. Lee dumped to the outside. Gacy now, you see a sense of urgency in Gacy. And Lee just flipping the switch here in this moment. Lee's been in these deep waters before. In comes Bate. Pace starting to quicken in this triple threat match, and this is a pace. Everyone moving right now, Book.
Yes, indeed. Like I say, this guy, Wesley, he always seems to find a way. He always seems to find that answer. Will he find it tonight here at Battleground?
Well, look, Lee has been at the disadvantage all night long. Gacy now with Lee in his sights. But so much taken out. Lee,
What the?
Lee dodged Gacy to wipe out Bate. Bate to our left, not moving. Uranagi. And his Schism about to get golden roots. Coming in and cardiac kick. Cover. Lee retains his title.
Here is your winner, and still the NXT North American Champion, Wesley.
Damn right, you're getting a standing ovation, Wesley, who has just set the record for the most successful title defenses of the North American Championship.
Tears of joy, Vic.
Wow.
Tears of joy right there. This young man is incredible.
I mean, this action was absolutely incredible. Tyler Bate here, he has won countless championships here in NXT and WWE with the Tyler Bate with the Driver 97 to that Meteora was able to connect, and just in the last present, Gacy was able to break up the count. This match will continue to roll, but look at the presence of mind by Lee. Sidestep Gacy. Gacy actually ducked out of the way to wipe out Bate. Back into the ring. Wesley was trying to take control. Bam! Gets planted by Gacy. But we talk about that championship pedigree, having that mindset right here. Bam! Able to dig down deep for the cardiac kick, to retain the North American Championship.
Here is your winner.
And for Wes Lee, he's the fightingest North American champion. He's a rascal for life, and Lee's record-breaking reign continues in NXT.
There'll be a tournament to crown a new NXT Women's Champion, culminating at NXT Battleground.
Indy Hartwell, your 15 minutes of fame are over. Sorry, ladies, but I have it. It's Tiffy time.
Now we got your attention, we about to keep on impressing, man, that's the only direction it's about to go, right?
I can't believe I have to compete in this tournament. Like, I should have been handed the women's title. Survive People Chucky tonight.
And Stratton the first to advance in the NXT Women's Tournament.
Then 2 more, and then go on to become the NXT Women's Champion.
Wow! And Stratton is headed to Battleground.
Tonight, the center of the NXT universe claimed her rightful spot at the top of the women's division.
Go. I'm on a new level.
I never asked to be the it girl of NXT. When you're the center of the universe, everything just perfectly falls into place.
And the finals are set. Valkyria Stratton, who is walking out the NXT Women's Champion,
is off the battleground to become the NXT Women's Champ. Probably first class, of course. Toodles!
We'll find out if Stratton will become champion later tonight, but there is the challenger Braun Breaker arriving, ready to regain the NXT title and ruin the champion's homecoming here in the shadows of Boston at NXT Battleground. And there we see Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams arriving as well. As we mentioned, the homecoming there, of course, Sean Grande, the voice of the Boston Celtics, giving Carmelo Hayes one final prep talk, and also Sean Grande, the voice of the Celtics, also voiced over the opening to Battleground. Huge main event still to come later tonight here at NXT Battleground. We talk about a championship. How about the prestigious Heritage Cup? As for the first time on U.S. soil, Noam Dar will defend the Heritage Cup as he faces Dragon Lee in a matchup that is a test of strategy and stamina.
The Heritage Cup, a celebration of the rich history and lineage of European wrestling that dates back to the turn of the 20th century. All Heritage Cup matches are contested under 6 3-minute rounds with a 20-second break between each round. During this break, the competitors go back to respective corners to receive treatment or advice from their cornerman. Heritage Cup matches are 2 out of 3 falls. Falls can be scored by pinfall, submission, or countout. When a fall occurs, the round ends immediately. In the event of a disqualification or knockout, the match ends instantly. If the contest has not been decided by the end of the 6th and final round, whoever is ahead on falls would win the match. In the event of a tie, the champion would retain and be awarded the Heritage Cup.
The following contest is for the NXT Heritage Cup Championship and will be contested by Heritage Cup rules.
Well, get ready, Booker, because the first NXT Premium Live event ever in Massachusetts is going to see the first ever Heritage Cup Championship defended on U.S. soil.
Introducing first the challenger, accompanied by Nathan Fraser, Dragon Lee.
And there you see Nathan Frazier, and he's going to be the chief second, the corner man for Dragon Lee in this matchup, which is unusual in its own right, because how vital can a corner man be to a superstar in this sort of matchup that, again, is going to be 6 3-minute rounds, pin or submission or count out to earn a fall, first superstar to 2 decision win.
2 seconds, very important, Vic. Like in boxing, that second set of eyes, see things you can't see. And Nathan Frazier, he's been there. He's done that. He's competed for that Heritage Cup, so he knows, Vic.
He does, and you know what? Noam Dar knows that he has to blame himself for bringing Lee and Frazier together for this matchup. A common enemy, and Dragon Lee looking to wear gold for the first time in the form of the Heritage Cup here in NXT.
Supernova 11, Noam Dar.
But we're really talking about wearing the gold, holding a title, carrying the Heritage Cup. There's no taking away from Noam Dar's accomplishments, but he's been a little reluctant to defend that Heritage Cup. What's he scared of?
Look, I wouldn't call it reluctancy or anything like that.
What word would you use?
We've gone through some troubled time. We've just got the COVID, travel restrictions and all that. You want everybody, people like Dragon Lee, to be a part of this tournament. The best tournament in the world is this Heritage Cup. We need everybody, man. Come on. It's simple, right?
I think for Noam Dar, he'd love to hold on to what he calls his baby for the rest of his life. Did you ever rock one of your championships to sleep? Did you ever hold the TV title, the world title, the tag team title? Did you ever rock anything and talk to it? He's whispering to it, Book. He was whispering to the cup.
Man, the television championship, just like this Heritage Cup, man, it means everything, Vic. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Yes, but the man is going to defend it. Noam Dar. Give him his props, Vic. Give him his props.
All I heard you say was you didn't say no, so I'm assuming you talked to your titles at one point in your career.
Oh, yeah.
We are set for the Heritage Cup, first time ever domestically. We talked about the 6 3-minute rounds, knockout or disqualification. I do want to add, this match ends. It's over. And if this goes the full distance and it's tied, Noam Dar retains the Heritage Cup.
The craftsmanship on that Heritage Cup. I got a chance to see it up close and personal. I'm going to tell you, it's a beautiful, beautiful cup.
Well, there's the bell. 3 minutes will begin. As there you see the countdown in your lower right. How will the Heritage Cup rules, Booker, throw Dragon Lee off?
You know, I don't think they're going to throw Dragon Lee off or anything like that, because this kid's an athlete, as well as he got Nathan Frazier in his corner to give him those what not to do's more than the what to do's, Vic.
That's a great point, because I'm sure Frazier over the last few days has lent some advice to Dragon Lee, and we do notice that no one out here for Noam Dar, so at least that's a little advantage for Dragon Lee. Whoa, ripping at the eyes.
I don't think it is. I'm going to tell you, I got a chance to see Noam Dar last week on television against Nathan Frazier, and I'm going to tell you, this kid's extraordinary talent. He's unbelievable. He's special. Look at him with that control right there over Dragon Lee, just controlling the body. That right there is art. That's a skill, Vic.
You know, both these superstars, though, have really been on your radar since their arrivals to NXT.
I mean, you can't help but be on the radar. I mean, the Booker T Fave 5, highly anticipated international superstars like these two guys.
The first 60 seconds has gone by in this opening round, and Noam Dar certainly has been in control of this matchup. Dar keeping the pace nice and slow. Again, Noam Dar's been here before. He's had to go through several of these rounds. He's been deep into the waters of these sort of matches. This is the unknown for Dragon Lee. As Lee now trying to quicken the pace a little bit, as 90 seconds just about ticked off the clock here in this opening round.
Right now it's a pretty even match, Vic, in these first couple of minutes.
You see right now everyone's settling into this match, almost like a feeling out process as Dar. A little takedown of Dragon Lee, and now focusing on a submission, the left knee. Now trying to transition over And Dragon Lee right now in a precarious position as Dar trying his best and Lee able to kick out. Because you know, Noam Dar knows if I can start weakening the body part here in round 1, how's that going to fare in round 3 and round 5?
Vic, that's what you want to do, is try to weaken the body. You know you're not going to get the win in round 1 or anything like that, but you want to go out there and wear that man down. You want to lean on him as much as you possibly can, like Dragon Lee's doing right now.
You see the clock now ticking underneath 45 seconds, and Dar right back in control of this matchup.
Nice escape there by Noam Dar. One thing I like about this kid, Noam Dar. Noam Dar. That's a championship name right there.
You are big on the name.
I am. You're supernova. You know what that means? Luminous explosion of a star.
Oh.
That's what this kid is.
Oh, wait a minute. Miss with the left high knee. Didn't connect. Swing and a miss by Supernova. Oh, and looking for that kick. Look, Dar has felt that foot under his jaw. It happened several weeks ago when Dragon Lee was facing Frazier, but we're approaching the final 10 seconds in this opening round matchup.
Neither one of these guys have broke a sweat.
And there you, oh, you heard the clack. That's the final 10 seconds. And right now, 4, 3, coming in. Whoa! And Lee, whoa. And again, that's what I mean by the rules. Lee now has to stop. His momentum just ended when the clock hit. And what? That's Ora Mensah. Apparently Mensah's had a change of heart. NXT Anonymous caught the conversation on Tuesday. We saw on the kickoff show. Dar's sweetening the deal. And
Come on, man. I'm here now. Come on, man.
Looks like Noam Dar now indeed has a Chief second. It kind of caught Frazier off guard. His eyes got really big, and Dragon Lee now, the bell has sounded, round 2 has begun. So Booker, let's put on a different mindset here for your head. If you were scoring this on points, who would you have ahead here as in terms of momentum into round 2?
Let me tell you something. After Dragon Lee landed that big shot right at the end of round 1, I would definitely give Dragon Lee the upper hand. And right now, he's rolling downhill and getting bigger, faster, and stronger, Vic, right now. Here we go.
Well, Dragon Lee knows a lot about heritage, which is why he put Dar on notice at spring break-in for this matchup and picking up right where he left off in round 1. To your point, in the first 30 seconds, Lee is rolling right now.
You never know how you're going to take, being in there with a man until you see him face to face, eye to eye. Dragon Lee right now seems like he's feeling like he's going to walk away with this Heritage Cup here tonight.
No, Dar trying to cover up in his own right. Lee coming right back in on Dar. And Lee's got to remember, time is the enemy in this matchup, even though it is round 2. Every second matters. Wow. And a big explosive kick right into the corner, into the cover, and Dar just got the shoulder up. And another reminder, if there's a pin, if there's a submission or a count out, the bell will sound. The round ends at that very moment.
I can tell you right now, I know it's not like that, but if we stop this match right now,
Nice counter roll through. Dar's the one with the shoulders down. And,
whoa, so close.
Dar almost
so
getting
close.
the first fall. Another swing and a miss. Caught the back elbow, though, right on the ear. And going up, going around. Dar now into the cover. And whoa!
The winner of the fall, Noam Dar.
Wow.
Hey, I'm here now. Come on, get
one more round. Let's go. Well, if Frazier saying, let's go, try to get Lee's minds back into this.
What do you want?
Referee doing a nice job because that's how quick it happens, round 3. And now the momentum is swung immediately to Dar, who has one fall. And now how does this change the strategy for Dragon?
Mind games right now. I'm going to tell you how unorthodox was that shot there from Noam Dar to get that pinfall that quick.
Oof. And look at now, Lee realizing, and I think maybe that's something Frazier told him that time. And and a submission.
Right there, Dragon Lee just walked right into that shot right there. Got a little overzealous, probably because that one pinfall, he's down right now.
Looked like Dar was trying to throw some hammer fists. Nice kick, though, by Lee, who was able to figure out and navigate his way free as we're 30 seconds in to round 3. We've talked about it, Booker. This is going to be a true test of strategy and stamina, and a nasty landing for Lee. Lee immediately grabbed the left knee into the cover and another kick out. If Dar would have finished that pin, if the referee would have hit 3, this was over in 3 rounds.
Dragon Lee got to feel a little desperate right now, behind one. And right now, in dire straits, Vic.
Dar taking advantage of the situation.
Mean, nasty elbows.
Booker, this is sort of a match I think you would like the process of this matchup.
Yeah, a matchup like this, Vic, you got to have a lot of stamina. You got to want to go out there and compete all night like those tennis players playing 4 hours a match. No, I'm not that type of guy, Vic.
Well, right now, Noam Dar looking for a knee. Nice counter, though, by Lee. Shoulders are down, and, ooh, 90 seconds left here in round 3. Of course, Dar with an advantage of 1 fall. Big knee. Ooh, kick under the jaw. And Dragon Lee now starting to get some momentum.
That big knee was right
Wow.
on the chin. And I said, but the first time I saw Dragon Lee, I said, he's a superstar, Vic. Tonight could make his night winning this cup.
Well, look at Dar. Dar realizes any extra second he can have to regroup.
Whoa!
No regrouping now. Approaching 60 seconds. Look, this is the best shot for Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee's on the move right now, Vic.
He's got to remember the clock. Frazier's got to let him know there's only 60 seconds in the round. Big suicide dive connects.
Gotta get him back in the ring, Vic. Got to get him back in the middle of that ring, hit up one big shot, try to even this thing out.
So much taken, though, out of Lee. You got to remember, Lee grabbed the knee when he came down awkwardly from the middle rope several moments ago. Charges in. Big knee to the side of the face. 40 seconds on the clock. Into the count, and Dar kicked out. And for Dragon Lee, Book, you look at the clock, there's 35 seconds. He's down a fall, and right now, Dar is on the back foot.
Just landed that big knee strike. Didn't look like anything was wrong with it to me, Vic. And right now, he's still like he's maybe laboring just a little bit. I'm wondering why isn't he on his feet?
What we were talking about with the type of matchup this is, the strategy, the stamina, it's a different test than a traditional one-on-one matchup as we're inside the final 15 seconds here of round 3, and Lee continuing to punish Noam Dar, but Dar is up on points. He's up 1 fall to none as we're inside the final 5 seconds. Lee swinging away.
He's not watching the clock, though, Vic. He's not watching the clock.
And Dar gets through round 3. Whoa!
Whoa!
Shot! What are you doing? The hell was that?
He didn't hear the bell, Vic. He didn't hear the bell.
Oh, bull! He didn't hear the bell, Book. If that's a disqualification, this is over.
Vic.
Referee using his discretion. I mean, Dragon Lee was rolling throughout this round 3. Maybe the best opportunity thus far. To the outside, big dive. And right here, after the fall, the bell rung and bam! Cheap shot. Oh, look at Dar. Let's get going. All of a sudden now Dar knows Dragon Lee's not at 100%. And right off rip, able to move, and there's where that corner man you talk about able to come into play. I think Frazier's able to give Lee the heads up, and big kick.
You talk about strategy, Vic. You must admit, this is a great strategy by Noam Dar.
Oh, for sure, because if he gets the pin here, if he gets the pin, it's over. Into the cover, it's just the right shoulder up was Lee.
Whether that shot was legal, whether it wasn't legal, I don't know. But this is a great strategy.
You don't know. 30 seconds off the clock here in round 4. And now Noam Dar sensing the end is near. Looking for that Nova roller. Looking around. And instead coming right back in. And he sees again. This is Dar's match. Wait, inside cradle! Inside cradle! Oof. Dar able to kick out.
Dragon Lee playing a little possum right there, but just got caught with that question mark kick right behind the ear. Right into it.
Going for a submission, trying to stretch out the left arm, hyperextend the elbow. Can he break the grip, though, of Lee? Lee trying to fight. 2 minutes left. If Lee taps out, this is over. And Lee now continuing to fight. Dar's got it cinched in.
Went right into that Demetrius Johnson special.
Almost
pulled it off. Almost pulled it off. Going right back to it.
Right back in. Clock ticking down to 145.
Wait a minute.
And Dar had to relinquish the hold to continue this match, and a crescent kick under the jaw. Lee now, that urgency back. Is he looking for a submission? Looking for a Texas cloverleaf?
A little time left too, Vic. Minute 30 left in the middle.
90 seconds, and Dar gonna tap out. There's Ora Mensah, who came out after round 1. Wait, he just pushed the rope.
What are you talking about? He's talking to him.
What's gotten into Mensah? Oh, Dar's gonna steal it from behind. Lee able to kick out again. A minute 5 here in round 4. Dragon Lee coming right back in, going up, going around. Drops Dar, cover, and whoa! We're tied.
The winner of the fall, Dragon Lee.
I understand we're tied at 1, but look at Mensah sticking his nose. Oh, there's Frazier.
What the hell's going on here?
some officials, and I believe I just looked up, the official has tossed out both cornermen. Now, how does that change the game plans here?
Bad idea to have the cornerman out here anyway, I think.
Yeah. Well, these two go in round 5. We're tied at 1 in Booker. There's only 6 minutes left, well, less than that at this juncture in the matchup. If this stays at 1 after the next 2 falls, Dar's going to retain. Dragon Lee now has to realize the moment is now. Swing and a miss, and an ankle lock being applied by Dar.
I like it, Vic. This is about 2 men in.
Whoa.
1 man leave. That's what it's all about. It's about the Heritage Cup and who's going to walk away the winner.
Dragon Lee.
Oh!
The second time wasn't the charm.
Oh no, Vic.
Lee might be out. Big elbow again from Dar. Dar's gonna fall into the cover to retain. Oh! How did Dragon Lee kick out? Take another look. Feel the impact. Just a nasty landing.
Nasty.
Under 2 minutes left in round 5. Every second counting. Every second that ticks away an enemy towards Dragon Lee as this Heritage Cup Championship matchup tied at 1.
They just kicking out there, just prolonging the inevitable, Vic. This thing is going to be over with here in a minute. That was a bad spiel.
If you're Dragon Lee, you got to remember when everything got heated on Supernova sessions a few weeks ago. Everything that Noam Dar has said. Dragon Lee, why he's here in NXT, why he's become the fastest rising superstar on this brand. But he's having a tough time standing. Snap German suplex. Dar's on Dream Street. Big knee under the jaw. Dar is rocked. Time is ticking. Under $1:20. Lee hoisting up. Looking for the big power bomb. Dar just able to. Jakara Jackson? It's under 60 seconds. What? Lash Legend. No, the official didn't see. Legend. Boom! Nova Roller. Wait a minute. What the? Cover. Noam Dar has done it.
The winner of the match, and still the NXT Heritage Cup champion, Noam Dar.
What in the world? You're laughing.
Dar like this, man. The kid's a player.
Ora Mensah, who was tossed earlier in the matchup, coming out. And Noam Dar snakes his way to another successful defense of the Heritage Cup. But again, this match was a true test of stamina and strategy. This was the first fall for Noam Dar. Was able to get the shoulders down, had the 1 fall advantage in this matchup. Dragon Lee would come back and do his best to continue to fight through the pain of his lower body to pick up a fall in his own right to tie things at 1. After both cornermen were set to the back, Lee looked like he had it all wrapped up. Huge powerbomb, and Dar somehow was able to kick out, but that's what made him the greatest Heritage Cup champion to date. But this is where things, it's a little cloudy. Jackson coming down, turning the officials' eyes to her. Lash Legend coming from the crowd. Bam! That corner bucket, that spit bucket to the back, to the spine. Boom! Setting up for the Nova Roller for Noam Dar to once again raise in victory the Heritage Cup. Whether you like it or you don't, there's no doubt there is going to be a pinky party tonight for Supernova.
What a party at, Vic? What a party gonna be? Oh, yeah.
Well, Jane and Dawn are going to kick off Tuesday night inside that weaponized cage. No telling what evil thoughts these two will come up with when it all goes down live on NXT this Tuesday. How about we continue with the action, because there's been nothing but evil thoughts going through the mind of both Dijak and Dragunov. It's been the most brutal rivalry in recent memory, and tonight we're going to find out who is the last man standing.
Nothing in life worth having comes easy.
Dragunov has said in the past, pain makes him feel alive. He's just a different breed of intensity.
I will suffer. I will endure a great deal of pain.
Dragunov, he's on a different level. He fight with a furious passion.
He doesn't fear pain. He welcomes it.
I've never feared pain. Pain makes you feel alive.
You say that pain makes you feel alive? That's great, because I'm gonna make you immortal. It's about authority. My authority. Dijak, all about mayhem, all about destruction.
He is the biggest and he is the baddest.
Ilya Dragunov, I gave you fair warning. Dijak got to be the toughest man I've ever seen in my life. And now look at you, so helpless.
You're obsessed with the idea of breaking me.
There's not a man alive that I can't break.
I invite you to try.
That enough?
Not even close.
I told you I'd break any man.
I'm still standing.
Last week was torture. At the end, I was still standing. I will sign the agreement tonight.
The whole harmless agreement to sign tonight.
These guys know exactly what it means to go to war.
We better buckle up, because it's Dijak and Dragunov in a last man standing match at Battleground.
I don't care who you are. I can break any man. And Ilya, I'm finally going to break you.
And Dijak will understand when I say that I'm invincible, unbreakable.
The following is a last man standing match. Introducing first, Dijak.
Remember, the only way to win this matchup is to incapacitate your opponent so they cannot reach their feet by the count of 10. They sign the hold harmless agreement, which means no one is liable for what happens.
Get them out of here. They don't need to see this.
Booker Dijak just told his wife and kids he doesn't want them to see what is about to happen, what's about to transpire and take place in this matchup. Can you remember a rivalry that has been so destructive, so intense in recent memory?
Vic, this is a war, man. This is the real deal. Look at the eyes. Never seen this guy happy once.
His opponent, Ilya Dragunov.
You talk about looking in the eyes. Dragunov is seeing red here tonight, and got a funny feeling we're about to see a different side of Ilya Dragunov here at NXT Battleground.
Talk about this kid, Ilya Dragunov, playing his greatest symphony. He has no reverse gear, Vic. He doesn't go back.
He truly does not. He talks about always wanting to persevere and push forward.
Yes.
But we got to get ready, man, because we could be in and getting ready to witness what could be the most chaotic, intense, physical, last man standing match in recent memory.
I agree 100%. Dragunov and this man Dijak is a Molotov cocktail about to explode, man.
You told me earlier there's a reason you never wanted to compete in one of these matches.
Yes, I mean, it's just about going out there and creating pain, mayhem, destruction. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
The referee here only to count to 10, and the slugfest has already begun. The Heritage Cup that we just witnessed was really about a test of skill. This match is gonna be about the test of human will, and look at Dijak.
Not gonna be pretty, Vic. I mean, like Dijak said, put the women and children to bed.
Talking about their first encounter at one point, Dijak had Dragunov pinned under the steel steps, and then Dragunov stood on top of those steps. It was an unreal sight.
Yes, indeed. He won the battle, Vic, but he didn't get the job done. He's in a war right now.
He is early going in this matchup, and look, these two coming out with a game plan, and it's pretty simple. Just beat the holy hell out of the other. And feel some of this impact. You see the body snapping, manipulating around, looking for, and right away, looking for maybe an early sign of Constantine special instead. Dijak just knocking Dragunov to the ground. And you can hear Dragunov right here in front of us. You can hear him agonizing, trouble breathing, taking deep breaths.
You know what they say, Vic? It's not about getting knocked down. It's about how many times you can get up and keep moving forward.
I mentioned those steps earlier, Book.
Yes, you did.
And Dijak's evil mind already starting to come to play.
Furniture around a little bit. Look like he's ready to play a little house inside the middle of this square circle.
These two have been all around. They brought in the locker room, brought in warehouses, loading docks. This match, this battle, can go anywhere.
Vic, those are called forearm shivers. And they are stiff, man. Oh, yes! Let me get out of the way.
Yeah, you better get out of the way. Feel the rage boiling out of Dragunov.
The intensity of this young man. Let me tell you, he matches up with anybody, Vic, because he's willing to go to a different place, and that place's pain is his pleasure.
Look, I don't have a clock on me, but we got to be, what, maybe 2.5 minutes into this matchup, and look at the welts that have been forming on everyone's body, and you might be counting teeth.
Wow. That up kick, Vic, caught him straight on the jaw.
And forget about the jaw. What about the spine, Book? Because you just saw Dragunov look over for a landing spot. And that's not Boston Logan Airport. And again, the official only here to count to 10. What? Dragunov will pay him. That was an up kick right under the jaw, which for Dragunov,
like
may have lost a few teeth.
A couple of bicuspids.
Said this battle could go anywhere. And look, we know Dragunov can absorb a ridiculous amount of punishment. But it's almost like, Dragunov just went through the table to take out Dijak.
Let me tell you, this kid, kid's willing to do something like that to himself. Just imagine what he's willing to do to you, Vic. That's the.
No one ever know what he's willing to do to
That's
me.
the thing. He's busted open, Vic. He's busted.
There you see the referee starting his count. Referee is at 6. Both superstars starting to move, trying to get back to their feet. Dragunov up, and look at Dijak just struggling, but the official using discretion. Dijak's feet both up, and look at the pain for Dijak. Everything his body has gone through early on in this matchup. And there's no predicting the barbaric lengths, Booker, that these two are going to be willing to go
There's no rules,
for
Vic.
victory.
There's no rules. Anything goes in a matchup like this. It's about debilitating your opponent till he quits.
There's Dijak. Let's go back to some of the action that we've already seen in a very physical matchup, and we knew it would be. First the kick, and then listen. That is a human being's spine on steal, but Dragunov somehow get back to his feet and then sacrifice himself. Boom! And you mentioned earlier, what are they willing to do to each other? How much are they willing to sacrifice to destroy the other? And now, look at the hard chops. Big kick and a roundhouse buckling the knees of Dijak. I mean, whoa. Hey, Book, you've even been a little squeamish over here next to me for some of these lefts and rights.
Just thinking the battle scars after a matchup like this, you got to wonder, but it doesn't seem like neither one of these guys really care about that right now. It's just about beating the hell out of each other, Vic.
We are looking at a different type of intense in this matchup, and we mentioned it earlier, the likes of maybe we've never seen. Oh my gosh, in NXT.
Wow.
And the referee doing a great job right on top of everything.
Wow.
Derek Sanders, I do not envy here tonight. And look at Dijak. Dijak doesn't care about the count. He wants to beat the hell out of Dragunov.
Dragunov, he always said he's a guy who don't mind a lot of pain right now. Oh my God, man.
But what about the back of Dragunov again, destroying each other, destroying themselves?
You talk about that sacred place that this young man Dragunov is willing to go, Vic.
It has been an electrifying atmosphere as the official up to 5 and Dragunov, like a phoenix, just rises up and goes right after Dijak. Again, these guys, look, they're stopping the referee's count. They're stopping the referee's count.
How is Dragunov still moving after all the pain he's gone through? And right now, not just moving, he's taking over.
Now, Dragunov said pain makes him feel alive. Dijak has promised to make Dragunov mortal.
Vic, I don't think we've seen Dijak in this much trouble ever. Oh! Good God!
And everything Dragunov has been through in this matchup. Remember the big boot under the jaw. Medical team Doc came out here, cleared Ilya Dragunov to continue, and Dragunov hasn't let up, hasn't taken his foot off the gas. And what in God's name is he thinking?
Man is willing to crawl to get to this top rope, Vic. What is he gonna do?
Oh! That could have been the kiss of death from Dragunov.
Wow.
Referee starting his count.
Check it out.
Some of this, look at this nasty landing first. That put Dijak on Dream Street, and Dragunov still wouldn't be done.
Coast to coast.
And then the impact. That wasn't a trash can, that wasn't a chair. That was steel steps as the official continuing to climb almost to 9. And somehow Dijak, nice bridge, he's back on his feet. Great job by the official in this matchup. And that was as close, Booker, as we've been to a 10 count.
NXT Battleground, and right now we got two grown men in the middle of this ring trying to chop each other down, Vic.
Oh!
No quitting Dijak.
Well, Dijak declared he could break any man. Dragunov challenged him to try to break him. That raised your eyebrows, and it's Dragunov who is up and delivering possibly the final blow. But Dragunov goes down too. Body almost giving out.
Yeah, both of these
And again, the referee will start his count to 10.
Both of these men have given a lot here tonight, Vic.
Oh, well. And Dragunov giving a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Wow.
I don't even know what to say.
That's what you need to say right there, Vic.
Referee's up to 5. Dragunov's up. Referee continuing to count to 6. And Dragunov, sensing Dijak was close to getting back to his feet, going right back on the offensive in this last man standing match. Oh! Turning Dijak inside out.
What I'm talking about as far as This young
What the?
man, Dragunov, he
What?
matches up. Oh, wow.
Who's gonna break who? Oh, Dragunov trying to hold on. Oof, trying to break that grip of Dijak. But Dijak now. Oh!
God, Vic.
Look, we said we were witnessing something that could be the most chaotic, intense, and physical last man standing match
Check this
ever.
out, Vic. For those who don't know, that's the apron right there. That's the hardest part of the ring right there. That's when the steel runs down, and right there, he felt every bit of that steel, Vic.
Referee has his count going. Dijak beats it at 6, but look at Dragunov. Dragunov's on a knee. Referee's at 8 right now. Dragunov can't get back, and at 9, just able to beat the count.
Wow.
That rage still boiling. I don't know how, but it is in Dragunov, and that just might have angered Dijak. Feast your eyes.
That may have been the shot, Vic, that separated this man, Dragunov from his senses. Oh, my God, Vic.
And Dragunov, by the way, is still up because he's still on his feet. I don't know how.
No, the only thing holding him up is the rope, Vic.
Great point, Booker. That is a great point. Gotta wonder Dijak's mind. Talking about being able to break anybody, everything he's put Dragunov through already over the last several months, everything he's put Dragunov through here tonight at Battleground. And somehow, Dragunov standing.
Last outing, like I say, Dijak didn't finish the job tonight. He's more than willing to go out here and finish this job and finish that job well. Oh, yes!
And the uneasy tension filling the air here inside the Tsongas Center as Dijak has yet another weapon at his disposal, and it's all legal.
You say Detroit pain, huh? You like this, Celia? How's it feel? Do you feel alive? What are you forcing me to do, huh? What are you forcing me to do? Look at that. I want you to stay down. You need to stay down. You need to stay down. Don't make me do this. Don't you make me do this. Look, I can't tell you how excruciating that kendo stick really, truly is. I can't tell you the pain that this young man, Dragunov, is feeling right now at this point.
Okay, this is just absolutely
torture. That's what this is, Vic.
It's uncomfortable.
It's torture.
Dijak. These are a different breed of human here at Battleground.
Self-interrogation right now, Vic. That's what this is. He's in interrogation mode. You forced this, you forced my hand.
And Dragunov fighting back as best he can. Oh! Come on! You see the wealth
This is real, Vic. This is as real as it's gonna get.
I don't know how Dragunov has anything left. From the welt on his left arm, the bruise on his left arm, to the welts, the swelling of his body.
Desperation shot right there, Vic.
Look how nasty the left forearm is, but Dijak now has to be in disbelief because Dragunov continues to move forward, continues to persevere. How the hell are these guys moving?
Can't believe Dragunov just won't quit.
What's it gonna take?
He won't stop, Vic. He won't quit. He will not lay down.
Last man standing. I don't know what the other's gonna have to do. Dijak just driven face first into the steel chair. Referee's count has started. Not a minute has moved yet at 6. Book referee continuing to count. Closing at 9. Dijak hasn't moved. Dragunov now at 9 gets to his feet.
Here is your winner, Ilya Dragunov.
We talked about the test of human will, the intestinal fortitude to persevere. Look at the body of Dragunov. The body of Dijak. Look, I want you to just listen to this impact. Across the spine. And nothing Dijak would do would keep Dragunov down. A human machine is Dragunov. Bam! Explosive blow after explosive blow, but this, the last one, and look at the landing, which bounced Dijak off that steel chair one more time. Pinpoint precision, bam! And that would be the final blow in one of the damnedest things we have ever seen, as Dragunov is the last man standing.
All right, I have input the results of everyone's quiz into the system, and I'm pleased to say that you all did very well.
Except you, Ricky! You suck, Ricky! You suck! You suck! You suck!
Moving on. Being the MVP of Chase University and serving as substitute teacher here has been consuming, sucking my will to live. So, I brought in 2 special guests who are going to help teach the art of catch wrestling. Please welcome Drew Gulak, Charlie Dempsey. Oh, if you or anyone needs me, I'm going to be up the back working on the Money in the Bank study guides.
Thank you, Duke. Chase U students, normally when you come to this classroom, you learn what to do. Well, today, I'd like to focus on what not to do when you hear that bell ring.
And who better to use as an example than Chase U's very own Thea Hale?
What?
As you can see, Thea's lack of grappling knowledge puts her at a severe disadvantage against every single opponent she steps in the ring with. This is not how to become a superstar.
Good news is not all Chase U students have to fail like Thea does. But with the right guidance, you too can learn how to crunch and crack your opponents in half.
Hey, the bloody hell are you doing?
I'm trying to show your students what not to do in the ring.
Yeah, that's the lesson. But you just had a student leave the room crying.
There's no crying in WWE. That was a reality check.
Look, no one talks to Thea that way, or any of my students. Chase U students. Look, do me a favor. Next week, have a better lesson plan prepared. Get out of here. Sorry, guys. Class dismissed. Someone go check on Thea.
Excuse me.
What's your question?
No, Andar, congratulations on retaining the
Thank
Heritage
you.
Cup. But what is all of this? What are we witnessing right now?
This is history. We just defended the NXT Heritage Cup Championship on American soil for the first time. Look how beautiful Miss Jackson is holding the cup. Lash the legend, my main man Mensa. I've been saying there's levels to this, and I'm at the top. But now, we're at the top! Check, please! Times 4, thank you! Bye-bye! Championi! Championi!
Well, will tonight be the night for the Creed brothers? Seem to be back on their path of destiny here at NXT under the guidance of Ivy Nile.
And the universe, check out the universe. Everybody's behind the Creed brothers, the science fans. That right there tells you they got a lot of support. And like you say, Ivy's the one, that legitimizer, man.
NXT Universe, as we talked about, been on fire here tonight. No doubt, a lot of supporters here for Julius and Brutus as they compete for the tag team gold. They're rough, they're rugged, they're nasty. They'll fight anyone. And they certainly look confident defending the NXT Tag Team titles once again here this evening.
There's no nonsense, Vic. What I like about this team, these Gallus boys, no plan, no jiving, just been a hell of a trio, Vic. A hell of a trio.
They've only gotten stronger since the arrival of Joe Gacy, who's on the outside of the ring on the floor, when he made his return at Stand and Deliver WrestleMania Saturday in LA.
Joe Coffey.
Joe Coffey, thank you, appreciate that.
Good to the last drop, Vic. Remember that.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Introducing first the challengers, accompanied by Ivy Nile, Julius and Brutus, the Creed Brothers. And their opponents, accompanied by Joe Coffey, Wolfgang, and Mark Coffey, they are the NXT Tag Team Champions, Gallus.
I was making sure you were listening at me and weren't looking at an app on your phone or nothing like that at this moment. You know, but I do want to talk about Joe Coffey in all seriousness. He'll be here ringside. Creed's called out the champions for not having any more surprises here tonight like they did at Stand and Deliver. They also defeated the family in Los Angeles, if we remember, and Coffey had some off-putting comments about the Don and his legal situation this past Tuesday.
Can't blame anybody but yourself, Vic. That's the way I see it. Let's not come into this match looking for an excuse, looking for a way out. The Creed brothers, they are truly a great tag team, one-time tag team champion. I thought there would be more tag team champions, more time tag team champions than that because they're good. They really are good.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. You know, it was around this time a year ago that Julius and Brutus actually won the NXT Tag Team titles for the first time. So can they recreate that magic here tonight at Battleground?
Match is going to say a whole lot of material right now. These Gallus boys, you got to give them a whole lot of credit. They came back within 1 month, Vic. 1 month, they had pretty much cleaned out the tag team division.
So that first tag of the matchup, and here comes Big Brutus, the powerhouse of the Creeds.
in there with Mark Coffey, who some would consider the calm member of Gallus, which is interesting in its own right. But when you talk to the Creed brothers and you get a chance to know them, they've talked about re-engaging in a mindset that made Julius undefeated in the ACC, a mindset that led Brutus to have an undefeated season in NCAA competition as a senior. And this is part of it. Look, they're not backing down tonight of the Creeds.
And they shouldn't back down. I mean, you look at them, they're two big guys just standing next to these guys for the first time. I said, what the hell we got here?
There's Wolfgang trying to charge in and gets caught in a nice fireman's takedown by Brutus. What I mean for Gallus, they're not used to having other superstars, other teams not back down. They're used to people just running away. They're used to bringing the fight to a team. But it's right now the Creed brothers who are bringing the fight to the NXT Tag Team Champions.
You got Brood Eye, two guys that's got a background and a pedigree. And these kids been fighting their whole lives, Vic. If you're going to be intimidated by anybody, it should be
off the belly to back and a kick out.
I'm not saying that the Gallus boys are intimidated or anything like that.
Backtracking?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
And we talk about Ivy now, who, of course, is on the outside for the Creed brothers. Does she get enough credit for the guidance of the Creeds? Bringing that mindset back, so to speak.
You got to understand that Ivy is like a player coach right now. She's got her own business, but right now she's doing a hell of a job just trying to keep these boys focused more than anything.
Oh, nice job. Tag was made. Mark Coffey doesn't realize that tag. Brutus is actually the legal superstar. Julius pointing around, Mark confused, not confused any longer, double axe handle, and it looks like Brutus ready to smash.
Round and pound right there. That was a beautiful misdirection tag right there made by.
Oh, you talking about misdirection. Wolfgang baiting over Brutus, and that allowed Mark Coffey for a half second to get a breath, but look at the takedown. This is that amateur background we've been talking about of Brutus coming right into play in this match.
I love Brood Eye, man, because he don't mind getting into a fight, and that's what the Creed brothers are going to have to do. They're going to have to go out there and get into a fight if they expect to win this matchup tonight. Oh, Wolfgang in the house.
And Wolfgang making a nice tag, a blind tag to Mark Coffey to get into this matchup and taking full advantage now. And Booker, Brutus is hurt. Brutus came down nasty on that top rope.
I walked by Wolfgang in the back and he was just talking to himself that he's ready for this moment right here. Ready to go out here and bring the pain to these boys.
Tag made back in comes Mark Coffey. And you talk about the nastiness of that landing from Brutus. Throat first, you can see Brutus now grabbing. He's having trouble breathing at this juncture. And look at Mark, and look at where the knee placement was, Book. Right on the face, right in the throat, and now going right back to the body.
Mark Coffey right now, Vic, he's taking his time. He's being very precise. He's dissecting Brood Eye right now, piece by piece. But here comes Brood Eye. Here comes Brood Eye with those big shots.
Trying to fight back, and then right back into the stomach, driving the air out of the lungs. Quick tag, and here comes Wolfgang to flatten Brutus. Center of the ring, and it has been a vile relationship between these two teams dating back to last summer. It's truly combustible elements between these superstars in this tag team match.
See that big shot there by Wolfgang? He just came in, just laid all of his weight on Brood Eye. It wasn't pretty or anything like that, but it was very effective.
Also, you think about what they've been focusing on, the body, the ribs, the midsection, the throat. Brutus not able to breathe. I mean, how does that change what goes on inside that ring for a superstar? Hook to the leg, and Julius saw he's going to have to intervene. Brutus was able to kick out, but look at now, just grinding down Brutus are the Gallus boys.
I think Gallus boys, like you say, grinding down on Brood Eye right now, just leaning on him, just trying to keep all the weight on the body right now, and he's doing a hell of a job. But right now, Brood Eye is back up to a base, back up to his feet.
Trying to create a little bit of separation. Perhaps the two toughest teams in NXT. Booker are battling over the gold right now, and a nice takedown.
Oh, that was called a hip lock right there, big hip check. Just beautiful base right there. Just used his balance to take Brood Eye over.
You see Julius on the outside, trying to get his brother to make the tag. Like a caged animal, patiently waiting, and Brutus trying to power up, and he did. But so much has been taken out of Brutus. Coffey bouncing right over, makes the tag. In comes Wolfgang. Julius tried his best. Did you see how he moved corners? Grabbed the rope tag to make it all legal. Reach out, but still just not close enough for
Wolfgang
Brutus.
needs to work Brood Eye back into his corner. That way we can have a full advantage here from a tag team perspective. That's legal, Vic. That's legal.
Well, took his eye off the ball to Wolfgang, and that allowed Brutus to make the tag. And now Wolfgang might be regretting the actions.
Here comes Julius. Let's get ready.
Uh-oh.
Beautiful suplex. This kid's hips unbelievable. Watch him pop the hips right here. Whoa.
He's
going on a ride.
And
one more time. The hip action is incredible from this kid, Julius, right here. Wow.
What? Are you again?
Oh, yes. Here we go, Vic.
Now you talk about no bread, water, and meat. Take a look at Julius Creed. Well, he said he was like a caged animal on the outside, ready to pounce. Oh, no. Add him up.
How many is that, Vic? How many is that? That 10 yet? Are we at 10?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go back on Peacock and watch us later to count. And look at this. Shooting star, followed by a moonsault into a cover for the title.
Whoa!
Coffee just able to kick up. What an offensive flurry that was from the Creeds.
Yeah, but that
wow.
Took a lot of energy out of Julius right there. You can't keep going like that, Vic.
Yeah, standing shooting star picture perfect. Got all that. Big Brew came in. Moonsault got him some too, but couldn't get the 3.
But look at Brudai right now. He's still laboring, Vic. Like I say, exerting all that energy like that, it does something to you.
Now, we talk a lot about the Creeds. We got to give credit when credit is due to the champions. Mark Coffey, Gallus, that being Wolfgang as well, really showing their resilience in this matchup. But there may be no coming back. Way roll through. Coffey. Oh. Close it now. Wolfgang. Brutus hanging out up top. And we talk about those combustible elements, Booker. Things started to break down.
So we talked about Julius using all that energy coming in there, just going crazy.
Ball!
You call that a cannonball?
Oh, Brutus ball! Cannonballs when he's sitting in the... We'll talk about it later. Brutus off the top, changing the complexion. All 4 men down. And here's where you talked about Ivy now earlier, Book. You talked about being on the outside. She is in the ear of the Creeds, but so is Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey in the ear.
I'd rather be out here with baby. Come on, get our titles back. I love you, baby.
I love you, baby. Let's do it, brother. Let's do it. I love you.
Brothers going into that mindset.
This is our kingdom.
Gallus wanted to fight. Let's go.
There we go, Vic. It's breaking out here.
And we know, nice takedown. And the referee right now taking a look around.
Who's legal? Who's legal?
In the landscape, that's what the referee's trying to do. Created, and there we have the legal participants. Julius, Mark Coffey. Mark coming in, going up, bam, gets planted. And we've seen this in the past. Julius could be looking for that knockout blow. Ivy! No surprises tonight. Joe wiped out. Is this the Creed's moment? What?
Oh! Wow!
Sticking her nose in business that doesn't belong to her. Back into the ring. Gallagher connects. Referee didn't see. Oh, come on. Come on.
Here are your winners, and still the NXT Tag Team Champions.
What a title defense. Wow.
We're trying to get all the pieces in place sitting here. In the end, Wolfgang Coffey retained. Oh, your heart goes out to the Creed brothers, who many believe
gotta be so
were
sarcastic?
closing. Well, I'm not being sarcastic, Book. Closing in. Ava, who week after week, this is the issue that Ivy has had with Ava. Sticking her nose where it doesn't belong, which is one of your mottos, Booker.
Yeah.
And that left Julius Creed in disbelief, which opened the door for Gallows Gate. Bam! Gallows Gate connected, dropped. Julius Creed, the official, did not see the illegal superstar.
And still.
Yeah, and still, as the Gallus boys continue to be on top in NXT.
brothers to the bone.
I have wreaked havoc. I have wreaked havoc on the NXT Women's Division.
For months.
This Tuesday.
Tuesday. I will
reveal myself. Well, finally on Tuesday, we will find out who's been wreaking havoc. But right now, we want to extend a special thank you to Paris for Animal and the official theme song of NXT Battleground. The song is available now on Apple Music and on Spotify. And here at Battleground, we are moments away from history, as it will be made in the crowning of a new NXT Women's Champion. Will be the center of the universe Tiffany Stratton, or will Lyra Valkyria be guided to the gold?
Prepare to witness the rise of Lyra Valkyria. I left my homeland, channeling the spirit of the Farragon. Duran Inchgale, Dura Gujokuk Amarga, Agus Ima Freyachan, Raven Shokshi, Keva of Buak and Biga, Hill Misha, Kletcha, Ingok, Ain Ka, of Ruigme. And as my old feathers fall to the ground, new feathers emerge stronger. I am evolving, adapting, and sharpening my weapons, ready for a new battleground. 3 women have been marked on my route to the NXT Women's Championship. Kiana James, you are the first.
The laser focus thinking about one thing, and that's getting to the top of this division.
That could have been the knockout blow. Valkyria into the cover, and Valkyria advances.
Cora Jade was going to teach me my place here in NXT, but I guess Cora changed her mind.
She's got all the tools and all the talent, man.
Oh! Devastating strike. Valkyria into the cover, and Valkyria's done it. She's headed to Lowell, Massachusetts.
To become women's champion, I must risk it all. Embrace the unknown of what's to come, because life as a women's champion begins tonight.
Well, this is it, Booker. It is the finals of the NXT Women's Championship Tournament. Lyra Valkyria lives by the motto, a single dream is more powerful than 1,000 realities. And the gold you see on Valkyria represents herself, molding herself into the champion she is about to become here tonight at Battleground.
I read that, Vic, and what a powerful statement to live by that dream, but to bring that dream to fruition and make that dream reality here tonight at Battleground. That's the ticket, man.
Now we got a question, is Valkyria at 100% after Cora Jade's kendo stick attack this past Tuesday? You see the brace on the left knee of Valkyria heading in to the finals here tonight. The center of the universe in her own mind. Tiffany Stratton has been on a whirlwind of media. She has also noted that this is the first ever singles championship match in her career. She sounded confident, she looks confident, but that can't shrink the butterflies deep down in Tiffany Stratton heading into this match.
Tiffany Stratton's not worried about those butterflies, Vic. She's gonna make those butterflies line up and fly straight, because this is that moment of the night, Vic. This is that shucky ducky quack quack moment, and she is, Tiffany Stratton. My God, man.
Better watch your blood pressure, Book.
Come kill.
The following is the final match in the Women's Championship Tournament, where the winner will become the new NXT Women's Champion. Introducing first, Lyra Valkyria. And her opponent, Tiffany Stratton.
Neil Booker, what a Memorial Day weekend it has been for the women of the WWE. We know this is the finals for the NXT Women's Championship. Perhaps the greatest NXT Women's Champion of all time, Asuka, won the women's title at Night of Champions yesterday in Saudi Arabia. Women taking center stage here tonight at Battleground.
Congrats to Asuka, man.
See both women sort of soaking in this moment. It was Lyra Valkyria who defeated Kiana James. Cora Jade, who we mentioned attacked the left knee with that kendo stick. After that matchup for Tiffany Stratton, defeated Roxanne Perez, who is a former NXT Women's Champion, and Gigi Dolan, who had the harder path to get here to the finals. As this matchup starting to break down.
Yes, it is. And who had the harder path? I think Tiffany Stratton had the harder path, coming off of the biggest victory perhaps of her career over Roxanne Perez, like you say, former champion. That tells me a whole lot about Tiffany Stratton. She's ready, Vic. She's ready for prime time, man.
The tournament began earlier this month, of course, after Indy Hartwell had to relinquish the championship after she was drafted to Monday Night Raw. The tournament began with 8 superstars handpicked by Shawn Michaels and the coaches at the Performance Center. It's down to the final 2. One of these 2 women will be wearing gold by the end of the night.
Yes, indeed. Right now, Lyra Valkyria, she's draped out in gold right now. So she must have something in mind here tonight, Vic.
Well, Valkyria believes this is the battleground she was born to fight in. And now looking for nice counter into a crucifix pin and a near fall.
I like that. I like that little connection you made there with Battleground. That was sweet.
Thank you. Said on Twitter she will redefine what it means to be champion as well in Valkyria.
What does that mean? I mean, we've had great champions here. Roxanne Perez, Indy Hartwell.
That's what makes me excited to see someone like Lyra Valkyria become champion, or Tiffany Stratton, who counters right back. But look at Valkyria. Counter for counter, shoulders down one more time. Stratton having the kick out at 2.5. And look, Tiffany Stratton has not been in this sort of fight. Look at Valkyria, pumped up, ready to go. Again, believes she was born for this moment.
I mean, you look at Tiffany Stratton. I mean, she checks off all the boxes, Vic. We talk about that airport test. She has no problem with that. And her in-ring prowess, Vic, is definitely off the chart for someone who's been in less than 2 years.
Ooh. I don't know if it's time for Stratton to start showboating yet, as she's picking up the pace here with Valkyria. Oh!
It's that bad wheel, Vic.
A little bit of an awkward landing, but look, Valkyria ready to go. This is not something she's just going to let slip.
Vic, don't think that it's not a bullseye on that left knee. Trust me, there's no way you can work through the pain. It's going to catch up with you sooner or later.
Take one more look. It's a regular old leapfrog in there.
Oh, man.
Just coming down a little awkward. And you know, you're right, Book, because Stratton saw what happened, and now the test of strength here by Tiffany Stratton. She obviously, in her own mind, thinks she is the stronger of the 2. I would have to say Stratton is the stronger of the 2 in this matchup.
I mean, with the gymnastics background, you know, the young ladies that dub gymnastics, they get that strength early in their lifetime. And right now, Valkyria is looking pretty good.
Well, she is, but
even on that bad wheel.
You come back to the strength. How strong can Valkyria be if she's just on one wheel? You know, the adrenaline's going to wear off at some point.
Adrenaline is going to wear off, but right now, Vic, Valkyria is trying to take it. Oh, see that misstep right there?
You saw for a moment. Didn't look like she was going to have all this speed on the attack as she was going to pounce to the outside as Stratton back into the matchup. Can you imagine, though, also, I do want to focus on Stratton for a second. If she wins, the demands she would make as champion.
What do you expect?
See the demand she's trying to make before.
Look, when you're champion, man, you want your own locker room. You want first-class treatment. You want the limo service. And I'm talking about limo service everywhere, man.
Whoa, and this time, Valkyria went for it, got caught, and getting ripped right down.
See that right there, Vic? Tiffany Stratton just lured Lyra Valkyria into that spot right there to put her in a
no.
Oh, bad position. Just bounced right off to that steel.
That steel post and just the kneecap. And there goes Stratton to what you talked about, that bullseye. And how effective is Valkyria going to be able to be on one leg?
Vic,
she's someone who uses her speed.
You might as well make it easy on yourself, Vic. It's not about going out here trying to match or anything like that. It's about hurting Valkyria. It's about walking away tonight with that championship around that waist.
And look, Stratton right back in because showboating a little bit, but Booker, if Valkyria can't get into the back into the matchup, Valkyria gets counted out. She's going to lose, and bam! Stratton's going to become the new champion.
But Tiffany said, no, she doesn't want to win it like that. She want to do it right in the middle of the ring.
No, what Stratton wants to do is she wants to embarrass somebody. She continuously talks down to every woman in the division. She wants to...
Yeah, what is she supposed to do, Vic?
Well, she just whipped the knee brace at his book, and you didn't even see what was going on because you were so...
No, she whipped it at you, Vic, because she doesn't like you. That's what it is.
It's Stratton right back in, and now that knee is exposed, Booker.
Man.
That left knee is exposed. And how much can Lyra Valkyria take? Nice dragon screw, just whipping Valkyria down to the mat.
Well, I was working on that knee right there. That reminds me of Ric Flair going right to that body part, trying to wear you down and then take you out. That's what it's all about, Vic.
It's interesting you say Ric Flair because Stratton has said time and time again she idolizes and wants to follow in the footsteps of Charlotte Flair, a superstar anyone should admire. As into the cover, hook of the leg, shoulders are down, and a near fall, a half second away from becoming the NXT Women's Champion, and just continuing to work the awkward hyperextension, and then following up, bam, right back down, and ripping it right back out, trying to rip the ligament out, and setting up one more time, continuing to focus on the knee. Smart strategy by Stratton, and I say that about Charlotte Flair because Charlotte Flair ironically won her first title in the championship tournament for the NXT Women's Championship.
Beautiful work here by Tiffany Stratton. What a person to admire, Charlotte Flair. For me, it was, guys like Ric Flair, Bach, Waco, Simmons. And you know what they had in common? They were champions, Vic. It's about reaching to the stars.
Oh, and look at the bridge.
It's about going to the nebula right now, Vic.
Forget about the nebula. I'm worried about the meniscus. And take a look at the body being bent. Stratton, look at Valkyria's eyes. Defiant, saying, hell no, she's not going to tap. Somehow breaking the grip and breaking the hold. But again, how much
has the damage been done? Has the damage been done to that left knee,
Quick
Vic?
cover, hook of the leg, and a kick out. Only getting a 1 count, Valkyria right now. She can't even get back to her feet. When was the last time you saw Valkyria on her own 2 feet in this matchup? It's been several minutes.
Talking about dreams, talking about perhaps shattered dreams here tonight for Valkyria.
Never seen Stratton target a body part like she is here tonight. Picking up her game week in, week out, month in and month out.
Wow.
And could be closing in on some gold around her waist.
Tiffany Stratton, Vic, I talked to my students about having that
cover.
About making sure you go deep into your tool bag. And right now, Tiffany Stratton has been looking great in this matchup here tonight.
Well, it's easy when your opponent comes in at less than 100%, and now maybe looking for a stretch muffler. What do you say? Stratton trying to get back to her feet, possibly, but right now, look at the torque, look at the bend, and Valkyria is so close to that rope.
Vic, please don't make any excuses for Valkyria. She could have forfeited. She could have stayed at home.
She's going to forfeit.
Stayed at home, Vic. So let's not make this a tainted victory. If so,
it's
for Tiffany Stratton. Okay, let's not do that.
Booker, is it excuse or is it fact that Valkyria was attacked, heinously attacked on Tuesday? Not in at 100%, but she's not giving up. Up, over, shoulders down, and a near fall.
That was close and innovative too at the same time.
Looking for maybe a figure 4 counter. And this could be now for Valkyria, somehow up, rolling right back through again. Shoulders are down. Another near fall.
That knee, just not enough knee strength right there, Vic, to hold Tiffany down.
And the referee doing a nice job. Valkyria said, I'm good, I can continue. And she's continuing to fight in this match, but looking for some high risk. Will it pay off? Oh!
Wow!
Missile dropkick, but Valkyria right to her injured left knee. Immediately grabbed the knee, could not capitalize on that dropkick.
Yes, you're right. Couldn't capitalize, couldn't get a cover out of that big shot right there.
Quite the atmosphere here tonight, NXT Battleground. This is the finals for the NXT Women's Championship. Somebody at the end of the night will have that title around their waist, will have the prestigious NXT Women's Championship and win this tournament. Take another look. Valkyria right in despite the knee. Bam! Able to connect, wasn't able to capitalize. And now for Valkyria, she's got to block out the pain. She's got to put all that behind her. She's got to settle in, she's got to focus, and she's got to somehow figure out a solution to the problem that is Tiffany Stratton.
Valkyria has worked her way into this position. Showed up in December and has been onward and upward. She soared here in NXT, and right now she's in a hell of a position, but I don't know about that left knee, Vic.
Combination offense, connecting, able to block out the pain for the moment. You talk about being here 6 months ago, competed at Stand and Deliver. Here tonight in the finals, Northern Lights suplex rolling right through, and on one leg, completes it again with the bridge into the cover.
Oh, we're going for the trifecta. We're going for one more, Vic.
Wow. Into the knee. Stratton right to that kneecap. Buckling, Valkyria, and I believe that was an enziguri of some sort.
It was, but I'm going to tell you right now, Valkyria may have taken the worst of that shot right there. Even so, she delivered it.
Well, I think everything right now for Valkyria, anything she does, walks, breathes, it's just shooting pain. I mean, you've had knee injuries, Book. It's not easy to compete at this level. But caution to the wind is Valkyria.
The adrenaline right now is pumping, Vic. Valkyria right now, she's just trying to push through the pain. And like I say, it's a short window, a very short window, Vic.
Valkyria pulling herself, trying to shake some feeling back into the left knee. Does she have enough to climb to the top? A little bit longer than she wanted, but she's raining down. Connects! This is that strength. This is the strength of Stratton.
Wow.
Overpowering.
Whoa!
Cover! No!
Wow!
Right shoulder, and I mean, you could have slid a piece of paper under her shoulder, just getting up for Stratton to continue in this matchup. Just when we thought Stratton was looking, bam, that crucifix bomb. Referee comes right over and I mean, Book, that was close. That was close.
Allow Valkyria to maintain contact and to reverse that into something awesome. Wow.
Oh, now you're giving her credit. Look at Valkyria.
Of course.
And, buckling the knees. And right underneath it, Stratton right in.
Don't waste any time. Don't waste any time.
Stratton moving with purpose, with urgency. We've seen Stratton win in the past. And a kick out by Valkyria. We've seen Tiffany Stratton early on in her career. Stratton was racking up the victories with that move.
Let me give Valkyria a lot of credit, Vic, because I thought this match would have been over about 5 minutes ago, but she's tough. She's weathering this storm.
We have witnessed the rise of Valkyria firsthand. But we've also seen the rise of Tiffany Stratton. These two here in the finals, both picked by the coaches, by the two-time Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. Valkyria trying to hoist up and back again to the knee. And right back in, got caught again. Shoulders down, near fall.
Whoa.
And boom. Oh, this has to be it, Booker. High impact for the no. And boy, this is the NXT Women's Championship. This is the finals to win the NXT Women's title. Think about all the women that have held the Women's Championship, what their careers have gone on to be. Charlotte Flair, we mentioned. You talk about Rhea Ripley. The list goes on. When you talk about Asuka, these superstars want to follow in that lineage.
What did Lyra say, Vic? A dream is worth more than 1,000 realities. She's trying to make that reality come true tonight.
That's just about part of her passion that she has had oozing out in this matchup, but from both superstars.
Oh, you see the pain right there? See the grimacing look right there in
I
Lyra's
don't know
face?
how Lyra's on even up right now. And there's that gymnastics background. Got caught.
Oh, baby!
Big
Wow.
German suplex for Valkyria.
Oh, that's that fighting spirit, Vic.
Mustering of everything she's got. Oh, we've seen that roundhouse kick connect. The knee buckled.
Just left her right there, Vic.
And Stratton to pick up the scraps. Hoisting up Valkyria. And this could be the beginning of the end.
Oh, man. Oh, we gotta see it. Oh, no, oh, no.
Moonsault didn't connect. Valkyria back to her feet. Boom! This time it does connect. Valkyria on one wheel, trying to crawl, trying to inch, trying to scrap her way over. The cover to...
You gotta be kidding me, Vic. Wow!
By the tippy top of her toe, Tiffany stays in it.
Pretty chin, that's what that was, Vic.
Who is walking out of Battleground? NXT Women's Champion. That was the knockout blow that we've seen Valkyria deliver throughout this entire tournament. But we're gonna have a big risk. Will it pay off? Valkyria setting her style. Stratton getting back into the fight. What is on the mind of Valkyria now?
That knee, Vic.
Up and looking for a power bomb out of the corner. Stratton trying to hold on. Stratton able to take down Valkyria. Right back in. Again.
Double up. Here we go, Vic.
Moonsault. Cover. Stratton makes history tonight.
Here is your winner and new NXT Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton.
Take nothing away from Lyra Valkyria, but hats off to Tiffany Stratton. All the emotion, all the passion pouring out of both these superstars, not just here tonight at Battleground, throughout this entire NXT Women's Championship tournament. And there you see your winner and new champion. What a moment that is for Tiffany Stratton. Back to some of the action. This is when the problems began for Valkyria in this matchup, stemming from that knee injury Tuesday night. And Stratton was there to inflict damage, to inflict pain, and continue to bullseye that left knee. And when Valkyria was looking to strike that knee again, buckling later on in this matchup for Valkyria, she really was on one leg this entire match. And for Tiffany Stratton, Stratton was willing to go to all the lengths in the world to finally connect with the prettiest moonsault ever. And Tiffany Stratton has begun her journey as NXT Women's Champion. And tonight, Stratton has made it to the tippy top of the women's division here in NXT. Another toxic chapter written Tuesday as former tag team partners, now bitter enemies, are going to kick off NXT inside a weaponized cage. Don't miss NXT Live this Tuesday on USA. But while this match is not about, that match not about gold, this one is in our main event as we're about to witness the homecoming of Carmelo Hayes. Is it the one he's dreamed of, or it's the massacre that Braun Breaker has predicted?
This is the him era. 18 months in the making was well worth the wait. Because now there's no question on who the man is. Because I am the NXT champion. And I am him.
Stand and Deliver was the culmination of my year-long reign as NXT champion.
There is Braun Breaker, who passed the torch at Stand and Deliver.
At the end of the match, you presented me this championship, and man, I gotta say that was real cool of you to do that, man. On behalf of me and everybody here at NXT, thank you.
That title holds great legacy. It's my honor right now, man, to congratulate you the most respectful way. Give it up for the new NXT champion, Carmelo Hayes. I finally realized that I don't need the approval of these scumbags anymore. You people are gonna see a side of me that you have never seen before.
Big match after big match, defending this brand, carrying the title, all for what? So I can pass the torch to a guy that I'm better than? Melo can have the torch, because I'm about to burn this bitch down.
Braun Breaker, everything between you and I was supposed to be about respect. At NXT Battleground, I want you, my neck of the woods. Let's talk about it.
I don't like the idea of Carmelo Hayes having the NXT championship. I'll give you something. Come here. Come here. Melo, you're going to realize that you're not him. You're nothing. Anyone can be him. Nobody can be me. See you at Battleground.
Braun decided that he wanted to send me a little message. Well, guess what, Braun? Message received.
To come into my house, into my backyard, and to beat me, that's crazy.
Braun Breaker is definitely going to walk into a hostile environment. You know, I've earned a lot of respect and a lot of love in this area. They've been waiting for this homecoming, and I know Braun wants to ruin that for me, and I refuse to let him do that.
You thought you were untouchable until you got touched. That NXT Battleground, we in my yard. And in my yard, we don't bark, we bite. You are not taking my NXT championship.
I'm not coming to Lowell to witness a homecoming. I'm coming to Lowell in front of your family, your friends, to dish out a massacre.
Well, there you are looking in the eyes of Braun Breaker, who has been operating on a totally different level since Los Angeles at Stand and Deliver. Well, there you see the champion alongside Trick Williams getting ready for the most emotional match of his career. We all know this is going to be a hostile environment for the challenger. More rabid than ever. His attitude, reasonable men never achieve anything.
You know the saying, Vic. No bread, no water, just meat. We talk about that dog in this young man. He's that lone wolf, Vic. He doesn't need anybody watching his back. And that's a very, very dangerous dog.
Well, we know the history. Came to NXT at the same time. Both told by the brass they would be the two to take NXT to the next level. Constant comparisons between the champion and the challenger. The next chapter is written tonight between Braun Breaker
and Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, yeah. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes, Vic. Oh, we about to get busy.
The city of champions. The city of green. The city of the Red Sox. The city of those baked beans. To the city of the Celtics. Point one, we still get the win. To the city of Boston. Him.
For the champion, his family is here. Friends are here. He's in his own backyard where he went from a kid with a dream to grow into a Casanova to become a champion. He's going to be amped up tonight, Booker. There's no doubt about it. How can he contain his emotions?
I'll tell you something. If Carmelo Hayes was anywhere besides here in this city, I would say, man, this kid's about to go out here and do it. But that right there, that pressure of fighting at home, fighting in front of family, giving away about 150 tickets, right there is enough pressure, Vic, for any man to break. I'm wondering if he can just hold it together. Because he is truly that man.
Look at Bron Breakker, not impressed. Melo looking to build his legacy. Braun looking to cement his. It's main event time for the NXT title at Battleground.
Yeah, you can feel it.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the NXT Championship! Introducing first the challenger, Bron Breakker! And his opponent, accompanied by Trick Williams, he is the NXT Champion, Carmelo Hayes!
It's all about the NXT title. Heard all week Carmelo Hayes tell the story about attending an NXT live event here in Lowell. Now he's here as champion. Certainly a full circle moment. But will it be the homecoming or will it be the massacre here in our main event?
Let me tell you something.
Oh!
Carmelo Hayes coming here with a lot of emotion, Jake, and I'm hoping they don't run into something big with Bron Breakker here tonight.
When we talk about emotion, it's Carmelo Hayes coming out firing right off rip, right on the bell, coming right at Bron Breakker. And this brings up a question I wanted to bring up to you. What changed in terms of strategy for both set, stand, and deliver? Because this seems to be a different game plan from the champion.
It's hard to say, but I can tell you this. Bron Breakker is about not following the rules. It's about making the rules. And if so, he may just go out and break the rules. That's what this man is all about now.
Oh, pump kick connected. And for Carmelo Hayes, he's at least come out and been able to contain his emotions. But the ring,
oh my God,
Carmelo Hayes.
Wow.
Brushing the dirt off his shoulders and looking to keep the goal around his waist. Hayes bringing the fight to Breakker. I don't know if Breakker thought this was going to be the side of Hayes he was going to see.
I say, Vic, I like everything I'm seeing right now with Carmelo Hayes, but like I say, he's fighting with a lot of emotion. Right now, the city got him going, but I'm telling you, he's going to break down sooner or later, Vic, because I'm going to tell you right now, Carmelo Hayes is not 100%.
Well, we've seen everything that's happened over the last several weeks when it came to Bron Breakker targeting Carmelo Hayes and those ribs, as you see a little extra wince from Hayes, as Hayes trying to pick up the speed, coming right back in, caught and dropped. A little tip of the cap to his family for Bron Breakker, who's looking to become just the second man to hold the NXT Championship 3 times.
Coming in with all that anger inside, because it could make him make some big mistakes, make him walk into something really big, because like I say, he is compromised. Like I said, I don't think Carmelo Hayes is 100% by any means, Vic.
I don't think anyone can argue that point, Booker, and that brings up the fact of, would you argue that this is a Bron Breakker we've never seen before, who's been living in the mind of Carmelo Hayes recently?
He just took out the market. Forget about living in the mind and rent-free. This dude right now, Vic, is on another level. That's that mistake I'm talking about. That one little mistake. Oh, yes.
Let's go, Mallow!
Look at Bron Breakker, man. He's adopted that superstar mentality, Vic, and I like it.
And look at Bron just baiting almost Melo in. Carmelo on the outside looking for the kick. Bron knew it was coming, was able to catch the foot easily and right back on the offense. And look at Breakker.
Oh, yes, and he's bringing the pain up close and personal right here. Laying it on thick on Carmelo Hayes right now, Vic.
The Trick Williams on the outside, nothing Williams can do about it.
Let's go back a couple of weeks ago, Vic. Carmelo Hayes was speared through the stage. Like that distraction right there. Did you just go back to last week? I mean, Carmelo Hayes speared out of thin air, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, those ribs gotta be ginger in this matchup, Vic.
Connected with the fadeaway, and Hayes now into the cover, trying to hook the leg, get under the bottom rope. Nice job by Carmelo Hayes. Presence of mind to realize where Bron Breakker was in the ring, and now Carmelo Hayes trying to switch gears in this matchup and take it to Breakker.
I tell you, we're gonna find a whole lot. We're gonna find a whole lot about Carmelo Hayes tonight, Vic. Trust me.
When it comes to Carmelo Hayes, you talk to him weekly. As we see some of this offense, this patented fadeaway connected. Right into the back of Bron Breakker. You talk regularly to Carmelo Hayes. Did it anger him to be told that he had peaked by the challenger?
Of course it did. It angered him. But that's the thing, Vic. Bron Breakker is looking to find any advantage he possibly can coming into this match tonight, even knowing that Carmelo Hayes is not the best for wear. Let's just say that.
Look at Breakker. Nice job of keeping the right knee on the mat, not allowing the full stretch of this single leg crab, but now Hayes has worn down Breakker.
No, what he's trying to do, Vic, he's trying to slow down the momentum.
Oh, back to the ribs.
That's what he's trying to do, and right now, Bron Breakker, he's not going to let him do that.
We talk about not being 100%. Breakker a little ginger right now as Hayes goes up, turns right back around, able to take down Breakker, and some of that speed. Oh, and how do you stop speed? You run into a brick wall.
All power right there, Vic. Just lowered the boom on Carmelo Hayes right there with that big clothesline. Nothing pretty about it, but effective.
Certainly was, and Breakker, just like that, can change the complexion of the matchup. Bam! And back to the live action. Just tossing again around the champion.
Yes, indeed. Carmelo Hayes is going to have to try to figure out how to swim and not get wet in this match tonight. But right now, he's in a lot of trouble, Vic.
Well, Breakker right now just enjoying every moment, every toss.
Taking this boy in the street, we call this the ganking zone, man.
Bron Breakker doesn't give a damn about anyone in the NXT universe. He has said it for weeks. I've known Bron since the day he arrived here. It's hard to sit here and hear what he has said about the NXT universe that he has turned his back on.
Come on, Vic.
And right now, oh, nice belly to belly.
Yeah, he tried to play by the rules.
Into the cover, Breakker for the title.
Tried to make the fans feel a certain way.
Hey, I don't know if Hayes kicked out.
The fans turned on him.
I don't know if Hayes kicked out or Bron let him up just to get out a couple more push-ups.
Well, I said we're going to bring the pain tonight. We know exactly where you're at here. You're in no shape for this matchup here tonight. You're in no shape to go to long haul. Yeah, right now, Bron Breakker just stalking his prey right now, Vic. I don't like the looks of this for Carmelo Hayes.
This is what Boston looks like! Right here!
You like this new Bron Breakker.
Oh,
he said it's not a change of attitude. He said all I did was wake up.
This is the real Bron Breakker. This is the Bron Breakker that's looking to become a multi-time champion in this business.
On Breakker again. Another overhead belly-to-belly toss.
Going right to those ribs too, Vic. Going right to those ribs.
The focus of Breakker from the beginning.
Bron is just thriving off of these fans right now, giving it to him. He's loving it.
Well, you can say that because not only is he driving the air out of the lungs of Carmelo Hayes, he's driving the air out of the home court advantage Hayes has here at Battleground. And he certainly has silenced the majority and the masses here tonight that came in support of Carmelo Hayes.
I'll tell you something.
The wind almost has left the Tsonga Center as right now Bron Breakker could be looking for one more devastating suplex.
Bron landing this shot right here, Vic, is going to be hell from Carmelo Hayes' ribs.
Oh, Hayes back to the knee, kind of softened up earlier with that single leg crab. Back in goes Bron to the top. Wow. And for the third time, can Bron Breakker become NXT champion? Hayes kicking out.
Momentum is in Bron Breakker's favor right now, Vic, and he's licking his chops right now. Oh, he's chomping at the bit right now, Vic, and I'm loving it.
Bron said it wasn't going to be a homecoming. It was going to be a massacre.
As much as I love Carmelo Hayes, I love a good battle even more, Vic, and that's what we got here tonight between these two young men, these two young lions.
And look at measuring Melo.
I've seen that little short on profile before, Vic. I felt it as well.
Bron just pulling the champion up to drop him again.
Gonna wake you up just to put you back to sleep. I like that mentality, Vic.
Bron said time and time again also this past week, he was the favorite coming into this matchup.
Oh, he is.
Oh, and now Hayes trying to get his second, maybe his third win back in this matchup. But so much has been taken out of the champion. Just trying to swing back, and look at the speed, the quickness, the power, just getting yoked up by the challenger.
I tell you, Carmelo delivering those chops right there didn't look like he had much on him. Looked like he's out of gas right now, Vic. That's what I'm talking about.
One more time. Look at the awkward landing, though, Booker, for the champion.
Just that adrenaline dump. Being here at home, in front of your home crowd, just that adrenaline dump alone.
Talk about the emotion. We've talked about the ribs, the lower back, and Bron now setting up to just recline back on the champion here in front of his family, in front of his friends.
He's in position to do it right now. He's going to do it. He's going to finish him off right now. And there's nothing Carmelo Hayes can do about it, Vic.
Well, Hayes realizing it, sensing it.
Oh! Wait a minute. Forgot about the crown jewel.
Oh, yeah, well, Bron might be singing an octave higher come tomorrow, but right back in goes the challenger, taking control of the champion, and it doesn't see anything. Oh! I was about to say, nothing the champion can do. He can't continue to get momentum, but right now, maybe the momentum is finally swung back into the hometown kid.
Talk about momentum. Carmelo just used all of his momentum to add that beautiful DDT on Bron Breakker, and right now, this thing is about to even up just a little bit.
Back to their feet. And now, that emotion that maybe we thought he had a little bit too much of early on, that being Carmelo Hayes, he's going to have to channel all that emotion right now.
One thing about being champion, Vic, I always tell you that being champion gives you that cloak of invincibility, and right now, Carmelo Hayes he's feeling it.
Hayes is going to the body, turning right back around face first. Oh, crescent kick under the jaw. Then Hayes. Big pump kick connects for the second time. Champion finding the rhythm, feeling the flow, looking to fly. Connects!
He got it, he landed it.
Hayes right back in, goes up, goes around, drops Bron.
Wow.
Into the
Can
cover.
he do it? Oh, no, not even a one. Not even a one, Vic.
Ooh. The whole crowd, we're even stunned. Oh, nice cutter. Braun gets dropped. Melo again into a cover. Hook of the leg this time. Near fall. What is going through the mind of Hayes?
You saw that the bravado of Bron Breakker almost put him in a precarious position to get beat.
Man, that was a turning point in this matchup. Really allowing Hayes to get back in. Cutter here connected beautifully. Hayes, though, not able to put Bron Breakker down as this championship match continues here at Battleground.
Just can't take free shots like Bron Breakker just took there a second ago, Vic. You can't do that.
No doubt who the NXT Universe is behind in this matchup. Can they rally? Hayes. Oh.
Big uppercut by Braun.
Catch it. Oh, and now hoisted up.
Wow. What a counter by him.
That first 48.
He's going to be it.
Now to the top. Looking for nothing but... Able to roll through, presence of mind, turn around. Breakker looking for the spear. Found the post instead. Hayes back up. Oh, my God!
That's Impact new champion. What?
Woo!
You got to be kidding me.
You're in disbelief. Trick in disbelief.
Check this out.
Braun in
He got all of
disbelief.
it. Oh my God, man.
He not only got all of it, but he got more than that. I have never seen a spear delivered from Bron Breakker like that.
You hear the impact on that, Vic? My God, man.
Braun, gut wrench, just tossing Hayes again. Hey, Breaker's done playing games.
Taking out the trash right now, Vic. That's what we're doing. We're taking out the trash.
Breakker is here to decimate. He's here to destroy. He's here to dethrone. And once again, become the NXT champion. Hayes is out of it, hoisted up. No, inside cradle, shoulders down, and no.
Whoa.
Another kick connect, but was that is this the last win for Hayes Booker? What does he have to do to finally drop Bron Breakker?
One last gas, one last effort here to try to, oh yes, that could be it right there, Vic.
That could be it, that DDT connects, and now look at Hayes.
Going for it, Vic. First 48.
Hayes couldn't connect.
Can he do it, Vic?
To the top, nothing.
Oh, wow.
Into the cover for Carmelo to retain. This was going back and forth. That looked like a buzzer beater to me from Carmelo Hayes.
Yes, it was.
2/10 of a second left, and he drops Bron Breakker.
Right here, oh baby, you gotta love it.
Standing ovation from the hometown crowd. And we gotta go back to this spear. Bam! You heard the impact. Trick Williams felt the impact, but still able to kick out. Was the champion, and then that disbelief kind of fell in. The eyes were big. The eyes here could have gotten rolled in the back of the head from Carmelo Hayes on one kick, followed by another, and then look at this Booker thing, a beauty.
Beautiful. Beautiful. With the greatest of ease, Vic.
DDT, and then Carmelo Hayes looking for nothing but net driving Braun into the mat. Huge statement victory for Carmelo Hayes here tonight in front of his family, in front of his friends, in front of the NXT Universe all around the world. Melo's legacy continues to grow, and Booker, Melo's dynasty is just beginning in NXT.